Welcome to our live stream of high school sports. Please note that this broadcast is produced by an independent team of sports enthusiasts, and the views, opinions, and commentary expressed are solely those of the commentators and not representative of the schools, teams, or athletes featured. While we strive for accuracy, occasional errors or misstatements may occur. This stream is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. Thank you for joining us and enjoy the show.
Yeah, come on, let's go. Hey, you ain't never seen nothing like this. Ain't no telling how it might get. It's the hypest right here. High school sports at its finest. So many highlights, you have to rewind it. Hey, Stream City, let me just remind you. The heart of a lion, a team full of fighters. So many stars on the field, it'll blind you. They're giving everything they got till the time's up. Yeah, legends in the making. History is made. We just getting started. You ain't seen a thing. YSN, gotta know the name. They gon' bring the flames. They gon' do their thing. Take it to another level, don't hold back. High school, got a passion and we show that. Got the drive and you know they got the heart. Number one spot for your high school sports. Let's go for the win. Hey.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a Monday edition YSN Live. DJ Yokley with you alongside Anthony Ronald Hartwig, 8-time best-selling author, world traveler, Grammy, Emmy Award-winning, Pulitzer Prize nominated Anthony Ronald Hartwig, by the way. Ronnie, how we doing?
We're doing good. What an awesome week 12. I mean, what a great slate of football games. We had a fun time on the YakCast. Our announcers did a great job. It's a great way to go into the weekend and come into a new week.
Yeah, a little bit wild on Friday night, to say the least. I would argue, because the tally is in. We made mention that there were 128,000 views plus on the website on Friday night, and the YakCast across all of the venue. Now we advertised that it would be Facebook and YouTube, but we added in LinkedIn, we added in X, and now we didn't put it on Instagram. Twitch. For all you Twitchers out there, it was on Twitch. 1.8 million views of the YakCast on Friday night.
I'm sorry. Like,
yep. Hey. 1.8 million views of the YakCast between Friday night and throughout the weekend. I think people went back and watched it. I believe that means they enjoyed it. We didn't get many complaints about that. We did get complaints, which we will address later on in today's show, and we will talk through. We also got some weird. We're going to touch on that as well. A weird complaint, weird kind of a flex from a photography outlet that
we're going to talk about it. I have some receipts here.
Okay. All right. We'll talk about that. But the one thing we have to talk about, the one thing that we will continue to talk about, at least for this week, because he's out next week, the legend, the man, the myth, and the legend, the guy that was out and just snapping pics left and right. One of the best to ever do it, the professor. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for our dear friend, Mr. Greg McAfee.
What's up, guys? How we doing?
Welcome to Overreaction Monday, sir. I would imagine you have a few overreactions to lay on us, as you do each and every week. Where shall we start, Mr. McAfee? We'll give you the floor. Where shall we start with the overreactions? Because there are plenty to go around.
Well, I mean, I'll just start where I was at on Friday, and I was at Cardinal Mooney South Range. Mooney's the real deal. I've got to see them a lot on video this year. I haven't seen them in person, so that was the first opportunity I got. And I mean, boy, do injuries make a difference. And they had a bunch of guys returning on Friday: Dom Lutlow, Ike Lake, a bunch of other guys, across the defense and everything like that. And that team is the real deal. I mean, they don't just have Ike Lake in the backfield. They got a couple guys that are quick and kind of built in similar frame that found the end zone. Brady Desmond, another solid runner. I got to give props to John Brenner. If you saw the photo album that I posted, and the photo right here, actually, sorry, I apologize, going up top to grab that catch. I mean, just a great all-around game. It was close early. South Range was in it, and then Cardinal Mooney just put their foot on the gas and pulled away late and didn't really allow the Raiders to get anywhere close. But that team is the real deal, and it's going to be an interesting matchup this week against Garfield. And then if they get past the G-Men, it's going to be an interesting game in the Division 5 Region 17 finals as well. But that team is built for success right now, for sure.
We mentioned as we went into the game, basically 3 weeks off. You had 2 weeks during the regular season. You had the bye week as well. They didn't play football for 3 weeks, Greg. It seemed like it was a slow start to the contest. They had the lead going into halftime. It was a 1-score game, I believe. And then the second half, they just came out and just laid the lumber to my beloved Raiders. Talk to me about what you saw on the sidelines, what was said, what was done, what were the adjustments that Coach Colapret was making with his staff and with his student athletes on the field.
Well, I mean, it didn't seem like they got off to a slow start. It just seemed like early on, South Range was really putting up a fight. I mean, South Range was in the game. They were doing what they needed to do to get the job done. And then it was funny. I was standing behind the end zone on Ike Lake's touchdown right before halftime, and there was some celebration in the end zone. And one of the players, I can't remember who it was, but one of the players was, we're just getting started. This is just the beginning right now. And that rang true throughout the second half. I mean, they really put the foot on the gas and kind of stepped on it. And I mean, that team, they just have guys all over the place. I mean, they really kind of, put their foot down and pulled away. And that front seven is huge. If you guys haven't read Vince's game recap on the website, it's solid. It paints a perfect picture of kind of what happened on Friday. And, the defense is strong. The offense is solid. They got guys all over the place that can really stretch the field. And, they had a lot of, after South Range scored their first touchdown, Mooney started off their next 3 to 4 drives with just huge plays down the field. To really, put them into South Range territory and set up their touchdown scores. And that's kind of how it carried out throughout the game.
Thing that impressed me the most about thing that impressed me most when we were watching this game was very rarely do you see teams run on South Range. I mean, it doesn't matter what year it is. That's like the number one thing that you don't do against South Range. It's almost a commandment. And I'll tell you what, Ike Lake got loose. You mentioned Brady Desmond also getting loose a couple times. Mooney's front five, they're massive. They are big. They are athletic. And when you see these runs being broken, does this give them the opportunity? And obviously there's a lot to be written in the Region 17 Division 5 chapter of this book. But does Mooney live up to the number one hype based on what they're able to do against teams that literally make a living about stopping the run and stopping the pass, and Mooney just kind of thwarts themselves into whatever they want to do? They bully their way into essentially whatever they want to do and beat you up at your own game.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have heard the age-old saying, it starts in the trenches, from coaches across the valley since the beginning of time, and it really does. I mean, they got size across the front, which allows them to run the ball, but that also opens up the pass. I mean, they got a couple talented wide receivers. John Brenner's obviously a solid tight end on the edge and everything like that. So they got guys that can go out and catch the ball and stretch the field. So when you're able to establish the running game with guys like Ike Lake and Brady Desmond, and they got a really talented sophomore in Tyree Dawson, I believe his name was, they can really do a lot of different things and keep you off balance. And that's what they were able to do on Friday. And I think that's going to showcase, throughout the rest of the playoffs as well.
I'm going to show you a comment right now that summarizes everything that has been this season for Mooney, right? Is this not what everybody's been saying about Mooney this entire time, and they continue to slap teams across the face?
I mean, Gentiles. I'd have to agree. I'd have to disagree with Durfee on this one. I think Gentile is a solid quarterback. He was able to get rid of the ball. He was able to find his receivers downfield, hit him in stride. He missed, a couple passes, but when he needed to, he came through and he made the pass. I mean, you can see from this photo right here that that's all that was needed. Obviously, he put it in a spot where only his guy could get it, and he did that throughout the evening. I haven't seen a ton of their games this year, but what I saw on Friday, I was impressed.
All right, Greg, it is Overreaction Monday. Before Week 12, the talk was maybe Mooney doesn't deserve this one seed. Maybe, maybe they kind of, limped into the playoffs or whatever because they had the 3-week bye. Now that they beat South Range emphatically, do you think Mooney kind of stamped their, okay, 1 seed favorites in the region, we got that in the bag? Would you call them the favorites? Maybe not the clear-cut favorites because there's a lot of good teams in Division 5. We know that. But are they at least a little by a slim margin the favorites in Division 5 now?
Does it even matter? I guess is a next level question.
Yeah, no, I think that's the question, DJ. Does it really even matter at this point? Because everyone at this point in the season, the regional semifinals, everyone's good. Mooney's good, Garfield's good, Poland's good, Girard's good. You know how I have been all year long. I've been really high on Girard and what they have. They're obviously young. This Cardinal Mooney team is loaded with seniors that have kind of been through their trials and tribulations the last couple of years, and they're ready to prove that that's in the past. They got a bunch of seniors out there who are ready to prove how good they actually are and can be. And I think they're on a mission. I think they're on a mission this year. With everyone they have, with all the talent that they have, I think they're going to be a tough out in the playoffs for sure.
Thing that I appreciate
most. If that answers the question.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing that I took away from this game before, during, and after was the fact that there's so much respect for these two programs in the Valley for one another. And that's not usually the case. And I think it always has been, going back to the 22 year where these two teams played for the first time. There's a lot of respect between these two programs. You saw it at Rominger Stadium earlier this year in Week 9. You saw it at Stambaugh on Friday night. That's the kind of stuff that you can appreciate as someone who's getting older, right? And not like, okay, we don't have to hate one another's program or talk trash or get on Barstool or whatever these kids are doing from the X, build it up. This was just a good old fashioned fight. And I think each of them know that they're going to see each other for years to come, as long as they're continued in the same division, the same region.
Oh, 100%. I mean, these are two programs you kind of want to model your programs after. I mean, they've had success for a very long time. Obviously, Mooney has been a little bit down, I would say, the last couple of years. And this is their coming back out party. They're ready to prove themselves. Obviously, they have a lot of talent on the field, and we've seen what South Range has been able to do over the past couple of years and the success they've had and everything like that. So I mean, this was just an old-fashioned battle. I mean, from the beginning until Cardinal Mooney kind of pulled away, it was a back and forth kind of thing. Early on, it had kind of that feeling of, all right, South Range is within a score. They're within 2 scores. If they can keep it close, they might have a chance late. And then Mooney just out of the half, Mooney just put on the gas. I mean, it was over, I would say, maybe a half a quarter into the second half. And it was all Cardinal Mooney.
And I feel like Mooney learned that from the first go around against South Range. If you let them hang around, they will come back. A team that I know you want to talk about. I know Derpy is waiting on pins and needles to talk about. Girard gets off to a slow start, and it was a battle for quite a while in Arrowhead Stadium. But I'll tell you what, Girard proves once again to be the better team. They stay undefeated on the year. A big-time win against Manchester. I know you were at the at Stambaugh Stadium, but you were keeping a close eye on what was happening at Arrowhead Stadium. What do you think about this Girard team with the slow start but a fast finish?
Yeah, I mean, I went back through and watched the game, and obviously cut up the highlight together and everything like that. I would say it wasn't Girard's prettiest game, but it's funny. You look at the stats, like AJ Pearson, 22 for 32, 270 yards, and a touchdown through the air. 27 carries, 137 yards, and 3 touchdowns on the ground. And I don't know if you can call that a bad game or an off game. And he also had 6 receivers with 3 or more catches. So he was spreading the ball around. It wasn't like just one guy was getting involved. And obviously Sam Scott was back in the backfield, which is a huge addition for them in the running game. And they were just, they were able to get the job done. And in the playoffs, that is all that matters. At this point in the season, it's not, all right, like we got to go out and win by 40. We got to go out and win by 10. You got to win by 1 point. And, they were able to shake off, the rust and everything like that and really impress against a tough Manchester team. Manchester was in it throughout the game, and obviously Gerard was able to pull away. I think it was 14-14 at one point, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
And they got the job done late, and that's all that matters at this point in the season is just get a W in advance, clean things up, heading into the semifinals against Poland, which I think is going to be another huge matchup. I got to call it earlier in the year. I'm excited to see it this time around. I'm hoping to be at Arrowhead Stadium on Friday. So it's going to be a good one. But this Gerard team, I've been saying it all year long. They got guys all over the place, and it's not like you can hone in on Mario Lipinski because they have Joey Algiers, Braxton Sloan, Alan Hess-Cardona, and a couple of the other guys on the outside, and then they have guys in the backfield as well who can get the job done. So they got guys everywhere. They got a solid defense too, and it's survive in advance at this point in the season. So while it was a slow start, I would assume Pat Pearson will have these guys ready on Friday.
Up to this point, Gerard's only close game was that Poland game. Everything else has been kind of a runaway for them. And everything gets a little bit enhanced in the playoffs. Every situation gets a little bit more tense and a little bit more tight. How impressed were you that they got into a battle, they got into a close game, Manchester ties it late at 14, and Gerard's able to not panic and make plays that really, outside of that Poland game, they haven't had to make this year?
Yeah, I said it earlier this year because this team is full of young kids. AJ Pearson's a sophomore, Braxton Sloan's a sophomore, Sam Scott's a senior. They're a relatively young team. Mario Lipinski's a freshman. They're a relatively young team, and through the first 6-7 weeks of the season, they didn't really have to face any adversity. So I was curious at how they were going to respond heading into that Poland game against a very tough team that was rolling at the time. They were coming off a huge win over South Range. And so I was curious how they were going to respond to that adversity, and they've done that throughout the end of the season. They did it again on Friday, and they're just really impressive. I would say no moment is really too big for them, but it's definitely going to come to a head on Friday. What's the age-old saying? It's hard to
beat a team twice.
Harder to beat a team twice. Yeah, I wasn't sure if there was something else in front of that. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, there probably is. But I guess my thing that I walked away so impressed with Gerard was, okay, slow start. In the playoffs, the people are there. These teams are going to be ready. There's a lot of film out there, 100%. Obviously, on Gerard. Nobody's afraid of film. It doesn't matter where you get it. You're going to be able to acquire it nowadays with technology the way it is. But throughout the season, it almost looked like AJ was picking a target throughout each game, right? And he was going to ride that horse all the way to the finish line, and oftentimes did. And here they get a couple weeks off from a standpoint of, they get that first round bye, and then all of a sudden, you mentioned it. How many? 6 receivers with 3 receptions or more?
3 or more receptions. Yeah, no one was over 100 yards, but everyone was above, I think 30, maybe 20, 30 yards.
To see this young man mature on the field the way that he has, and then showcase it and put up 28 points, but oh, by the way, get into week 13. How much more dangerous is that AJ Pearson than the AJ Pearson we were falling in love with for 10 weeks?
I think the funny thing is, throughout the season, you would always see the Gerard offense with, 1 or 2 huge plays. Like Mario Lipinski goes off for a 99-yard touchdown reception, or, Joey Algiers catches one across the middle and takes it 85 yards or something like that. You always saw those type of plays. And I think teams have started to respect that defensively and try to shut it down as much as they could. And so it's finding those middle ground passes across the middle on the edge. I mean, if you guys go back and look at that highlight that I cut together, there are so many pinpoint passes that he put in the perfect spot, whether it was on the sideline or over the middle or just a little like screen swing pass to the side. I mean, it's impressive. I mean, the kid can pick apart a defense, and he's only a sophomore. He's very, very good. And when you have the ability to spread the ball around and look for different receivers on any given play and work through your reads, that's when you really start to become a great quarterback. And he showcased that on Friday. I mean, he was all over the place. He found a couple different guys across the middle, downfield, and it's impressive to watch. I mean, it's not like he surprises you anymore with the things he does, but he still surprises you just because he's so young, and the maturity he has in the pocket is great. And then when you can use his legs like he does, I mean, 137 yards and 3 touchdowns in a playoff game, his first playoff game as like a full-time contributor and a starting quarterback. I mean, that's something else, man.
I love it. I mean, we have to turn the page to the other game, the team that ultimately Gerard will face, and a team that took care of business on Friday night against Liberty. We had this pinned to be the game of the night, and really it was for a minute. Yeah. And then all of a sudden Poland kind of took over. They win this one 35-14. Greg, what did you see from this that impressed you so much about Poland and getting into week 13?
I mean, Poland's one of those teams that they're not like, I wouldn't call them like a flashy team, if you know what I mean. Like, they're not going to have those huge, I mean, you have Vito Kamara who can break a game open with a punt return or a kick return or a huge catch or something like that. But they're a team that's going to battle and grind their way through games. And then when the hole is open, they're going to take it and they're going to run with it. And I mean, you look at the stat line or the box score from the game, and it's not like these huge eye-popping numbers. Like, David Zippolita only threw 10 passes. He completed 6 of them for 154 yards and 2 touchdowns, but also added 97 yards on the ground. I mean, that's not like this huge eye-popping stat line, but they put up 35 points. And you have like Chase Jones with a catch for 72 yards and a touchdown, and he's a running back. I mean, and then you have Pano Zippolita and Vito Kamara who scored 2 touchdowns apiece. So it's not like these eye-popping numbers, but they're going to find a way to get it done, and their defense is solid as well. I mean, limiting Liberty's offense with 2 1,000-yard rushers to 14 points is gigantic. And that was the story the first time around these two teams played, Poland and Gerard, was this Poland Gerard team. The Poland defense really limited the Indians, like through the passing game and everything like that. And I think it's going to be a grinded out type of game on Friday at Arrowhead.
Let's talk about Poland's defense, because I believe that 14 is the lowest mark that Liberty's been held to all season. What do you think Poland's defense did so well to contain this Liberty offense that we've been gushing about all year, and how athletic they are and how much they can break a game open? What was so impressive on Poland's side of the ball defensively?
I mean, it's limiting the big plays. I mean, when you have guys like Dewan Moody and Deon Tutwiler, and they're sitting in their own side of the field, I mean, they can break a run at the snap of a finger. And so I think it's limiting those mostly, because that's when they've broken games open this year, is when they're able to get a big play or a punt return or a kick return or something like that and really break the game open and build some momentum. So I think that's huge when you're talking about this Liberty offense, is just limiting those big plays and then keeping everyone else in check. I mean, they have some talented kids on the outside. John Enrique Pierre Green, I think his name is, if I remember correctly. He's the guy that's caught a ton of passes and taken them to the end zone. So it's just limiting those guys on the outside and keeping focus on Moody and Tutwiler. And I think that's what Poland was able to do on Friday.
All right. I know that you're going to be at this game on Friday night at Arrowhead Stadium. For you to be back in that same facility, to be back, maybe not on the mic this time, but you're cutting highlights, you're shooting pictures. What's got you tingling a little bit, man? What's got you excited about this ball game?
I mean, chapter 2. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. I mean, what adjustments are both teams going to make? Like we said, it's hard to beat a team twice, and especially when it was a point spread the first time around, came down to a 2-point conversion. A lot of things could have gone differently in that first round. I mean, you got to remember, David Zippolita didn't play, I think, in like a quarter and a half at the end of the game. Last time they played around, Vito Kamara had to come in and play quarterback, and he really kind of sparked Poland's offense in a way and led them to a couple scores late. So it's going to be just the adjustments that are made. I mean, that could tentatively work out in Poland's favor, that they didn't get a huge look at David Zippolita the first time around, and they could show different looks. I mean, and when you have two experienced coaches like this game does, and Tom Pavlansky and Pat Pearson, they're going to have their guys ready, and then the players got to do the job on the field. I'm really looking forward to seeing AJ Pearson in person again. I've seen him a couple times this year. He's impressed me every time. I mean, he hasn't really seemed like the moment has been too big for him at all. But again, just interested in seeing the adjustments that both teams are made, and looking forward to it for sure.
What's interesting is we have to flip to the next one, or else we never will get past all of these. Is everybody, and listen, and I have a lot of respect for Mooney, a ton of respect, even more so now that you emphatically, as Anthony said, beat South Range the way that you do, but they still have a dog to get past. And this is a dog that continues to get overlooked so many times. Coach Moser in the Garrettsville Garfield G-Men will invade Stambaugh Stadium this Friday and take on Mooney. This wraps up our Division 5 coverage. But when you think about Garfield all year, they've kind of reinvented themselves on the fly, have they not, Greg?
Yeah, I mean, you saw the game against Liberty earlier this year where they really kind of aired it out a little bit. I think Nikert had close to 200 yards or over 200 yards through the air. Braden Bogucki was huge on the outside for him. But, I mean, at their true heart, their true self of self, I mean, they're a running program. They showed that this past week. Devin Bates had 13 carries for 117 yards and a touchdown. Ryder Kane had 2 touchdowns. Ryder Kane had 17 carries, 123 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Bogucki didn't really do much on the outside. So I mean, I think that just shows just how many guys that they have that can either run the ball or spread out wide and take advantage of any mismatches they have. I think you hit it on the head, DJ. This team is always overlooked, and I think that's a position they're comfortable in. They like being the underdog. They like taking teams, catching teams off guard, but it doesn't take away from the talent they have on the field. I mean, this team is good. They're able to run the ball. They play solid defense. They play physical football. Mooney's definitely going to have their hands full on Friday.
Yeah, this offense obviously put 48 points up on St. Clairsville. They can score with the best of them. I guess my question is, how much do you think they have to score to beat Mooney? What do you think? Do you think this will be a more defensive game, or do you think Garfield's going to have to score in the 30s to beat Mooney? How do you feel that the tempo of this game's going to go?
I mean, if they can keep up with Mooney's passing game, I think this could be one of those games that, some might expect to be a high scoring game, but it turns out to be a defensive battle. You know what I mean? Like I think it has the feelings of one of those games with the size that they have on both sides of the field, in Mooney's regard. And I mean, Garfield is one of those teams that's not going to back down, in terms of physicality or anything like that. So I truly think it's going to be one of those defensive battles where it's going to be, 14-7, 21-14, 21-17, something like that. I mean, we've seen Mooney be caught in some low scoring battles this year and come out on the winning end. I think Friday could be another one of those games.
Let's climb the ladder to Division 2, where what a battle it was. And we thought the game was over. As a matter of fact, that down the stretch,
thanks, Radar.
Bitch wins 28-25 over Green, but Green put up a fight down. I mean, literally every point during this ball game. But the Falcons, and this is one of those things where the Falcons have not always been able to win these close games. Sometimes things get a little bit too tight for them, and I don't know what happens, but TJ Parker stays calm, keeps the hands steady, and the Falcons win this. They go on to week 13 playing Walsh Jesuit. When you think about this Falcon team, what strikes you as different this year, Greg?
They're just ready to go. I mean, we got to talk to a couple of their players earlier this year on zone coverage, and the atmosphere, the demeanor just seemed different. They seemed ready to go. They seemed like a team that's prepared to, play when the lights are the brightest. And with their backs against the wall on Friday, they were able to pull it out. They came up with some huge plays to move the ball down the field and find the end zone and pull away late. I mean, that game, 28-25, I mean, I think they were up 10 maybe with like 5 or 6 minutes left, and Green scored. but they were able to pull away, or they were able to hold off and make a defensive stand late, and that's what matters in the playoffs. All you got to do is win by a point, like I said, and they were able to pull away and hold on late. And it was, I mean, this team, they got guys everywhere ready to make plays. DeAndre Richard, Junie Higgs, Colin, is it Callagher?
Callagher.
Yep.
Callagher.
Tyler Evans.
Tyler Evans. They got guys all over the place that can make plays. And I think they're really ready to make a run. I mean, we've seen them get to this stage before and kind of fall short. But this team is built to have success this year, and I think they're ready to go.
Everybody's in love with Walsh Jesuits. So I'm going to guess that our good friend Drew Pastore is going to put it against Austintown Fitch this week, which should fire them up. But on the other side of the bracket, unfortunately, the Boardman season, which was a successful one, if you ask me, comes to a close because they run into the buzzsaw that is Archbishop Hoban. And I'll tell you what, as advertised, I mean, we were able to watch that game, pretty fluidly on Friday night from the YakCast perspective. Hoban is feeling a little bit different this time of year. Do you agree?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, Hoban comes at advertised. They're the number one seed for a reason. They're solid. I mean, like you said, Boardman just kind of ran into a buzzsaw, especially at this point in the season when Hoban is playing its best football. I mean, and they got athletes, they got playmakers all over the field, and they're just tough to stop, especially, I think for Boardman, and I've kind of been saying it throughout the season, well, specifically throughout this past week, they're a solid team when they're a solid team in general, but when they have the right matchup, they can stay in games. When you can eat the clock with that running game and take advantage of the pass throughout at the right opportunity, they can hang into games. But this Hoban team, I mean, we've seen them have success over the past couple of years, and it seems like they're a team on a mission this year.
You just took the words right out of my mouth, because I was going to say Hoban has gotten to the doorstep of state championships in the last couple of years. They've had state championship talent on the team that just haven't been able to open that door. They feel like they're just that team where they're sick of getting close. They want to make it to the promised land this year.
Yeah, 100%.
On to our friends Salem, who, when you talk about a buzzsaw, boy, Glenville, sharpen up the blades on Friday night. And you got to give credit where credit's due. Salem had an excellent year. I think, the people inside that locker room knew that they had the potential to be this team in 2025, but everybody else has counted them out. Kudos, and hey, Ron John, way to go. Way to bring this team back. Way to bring the program back. Incredible job. But Glenville, again, another team as advertised in Division 4. They sliced through the Quakers 49-0. They blank them. A season like this, Greg, quickly, what do you think this does for the program over in Salem?
Builds it back up. I mean, it builds confidence, it builds momentum, especially after the way they started the year. I think, people might have counted them out early on. And then, when you're able to, rattle off as many wins as you did in close games and pile up the wins and play close against West Branch and play close against South Range, that builds up momentum, it builds up confidence, and it just revigorates life into a program. I don't think they should really hang their heads on a loss like this in the playoffs. They got into the playoffs, they squeaked in, they did what they needed to do, they did their job, they earned a first round victory. And I think that just builds up confidence and builds up momentum heading into next year. So it's a huge huge season for the Quakers.
And then right on to the other side of the bracket, you have our friends over in West Branch, the Gangrene, 35-14 winners on Friday night. They keep on rolling. I mean, West Branch, seemingly with Tim Cooper at the helm, continue to do what they do well, and that is just take your weaknesses and expose them. What did they do so well on Friday night? And is this a team that could go for a run as well in the West Branch Warriors?
Yeah. So, I mean, of all the games on Friday, I would call this one the biggest win for teams in our area. Norton was a team coming into this week that hadn't lost since week one, and that week one was a forfeit, I believe. Well, it was a no contest changed into a forfeit because of OHSA's rule change or whatever you want to call it. And so Norton was a team coming into the game that was hot. They got whatever seed they got. and because of that week one forfeit. And so, I mean, West Branch had a challenge in front of them, and they obviously answered the call. But this West Branch team, I mean, we've seen the Warriors have talent all over the place year in and year out, and they kind of get to this level and something happens and they go home with a loss. But this team seems different. They got guys all over the place. Jeremiah Thomas, Gavin Gregory is a huge, 6'5",
Literally.
6'4" tight end, 270 pounds, something like that. He's just an athlete and he's a big guy. And then when you got the quarterback that they do, that I think has gone underrated throughout the course of this season, they can light up the scoreboard. They did so on Friday, and I'm sure they'll do so throughout the rest of the year. I think they play, but they got a tough matchup with Perry on Friday as well. So it's going to be another tough task in front of them.
Yeah, I mean, Gavin Gregory is so good that Bill Belichick's looking at him. So when you know that guy is looking at you to come to UNC, you know that you're doing something right.
On to the Perry game, where you've got a 26-6 victory for the Pirates. That sets up Perry versus West Branch.
Yep.
Perry, I mean, Division V champs, 2 years ago? And now they're fighting through D4, and then they get West Branch here this week. This is I don't even know how to even describe it. I'm stuttering trying to get to it, but it's a program against a program. This isn't just one or two guys against one or two guys. This is next man up mentality, no matter what it takes. How excited are you to see this game happen on week 13? I mean, this has got to be one of the premier matchups outside of Poland and Girard in the entire state.
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit it on the head, DJ. It's one of those games that's going to have a lot of eyes on it. Perry's a team that I haven't got to see a ton of this year, as far as tape and things like that. But they obviously have a established history of success. And it's going to be an exciting game on Friday. I mean, when you match up against West Branch, you can probably guess that it's going to be a high-scoring game. And Perry's, been able to light up the scoreboard this year as well. So it's definitely going to be one that a lot of people are going to be watching on Friday.
On to one more. Oh, we got two more games to get through real quickly, but this is one of the games that surprised me just the way it happened. I mean, it felt like Canfield had control of this entire game the entire time. When you think about this Canfield team, I feel like they have not only surprised people all year, but they have spat in the face of adversity the entire season. Even in that Week 10 game against Boardman, they kind of lost who they were a little bit. I don't know if they were looking forward too much. That's for Canfield to know inside their locker room. But they came out, and I think the rest versus rust, out of all the teams that had rest in Week 11, Canfield showed the most promise for moving forward into the rest of the playoffs. What was your takeaway from the Cardinals in this big win?
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of interested to see how they were going to respond after that loss to Boardman in Week 10. And obviously when you have a week off, that I think that helps, especially in Canfield's case. I think like with other teams, like with Mooney, it was interesting to see, just because they had 2 weeks off. But when you end the season an undefeated season with a loss, and you get a bye, you're able to work things out. You're able to make adjustments, figure out what you need to fix, and go into the second round of the playoffs fully healthy. I mean, they got Donnie Furco back, who they've missed for 4, 5, 6 weeks, whatever it is. And he's a huge playmaker for them. He can really, break a game open. And they had this game from the very beginning. And I think that's a huge statement win going into the semifinals, where they get the Angela St. Joseph, who's, a primetime program, always have success. So it's gonna be a good matchup for Canfield, but I was happy to see the way they responded in the quarterfinals for sure.
And then finally, we make it to the D7 game where, boy, McDonald showed up and showed out a JFK valiant fight in the Devil's Den. But when it was all said and done, you think at what Casey Miller was able to do, Drew Zajac, Jordan Perry, which we couldn't figure out his name. There was Dom and Josh. We figured it out eventually. Jordan Perry gets in, Josh Crumpack, Kyle Puckett, who was the MVAC Player of the Year.
Dog.
I mean, like, there are so many weapons on this McDonald team, and everybody looks to us and say, well, you haven't acknowledged them. I mean, they have really become the tribal chief of D7 when you think about it. We've covered them all year long from a standpoint of kind of afar, I would say. But now it's time to get down and dirty and gritty with this team that has really become a staple of this area in the way they play, the way they approach games. And obviously Dan Williams has been so impressive with how he prepares his team week in and week out.
Yeah, I mean, I've said this throughout the year. I got to see like two different versions of the McDonald team. I got to see them early on this year against Columbiana when they celebrated their 100th year in the program's history, and that's the best version of the McDonald team you want to see when they're obviously a heavy running team. They run that wing T offense, and when you have guys like Drew Zajac and Casey Miller and Preston Van Meter, it's hard to go away from it. But when you have guys like Jordan Perry and Josh Crumpack on the outside who can take the tops off of defenses, it gives them the ability to attack teams in a variety of different ways. And I think towards the end of the season, they might have gotten away a little bit from their passing game. When I saw them against Springfield, they started the game off on their first drive. They threw some like wide receiver screen and swing passes to Jordan Perry and really were able to move the ball and missed on a couple of passes late. And I think that's what led to that low scoring 7-6 affair, whatever it was. And but this team is very, very good. I mean, if you go back and look at even the highlight from this past weekend or the highlight from when they played Mineral Ridge, they spread the ball out. When they spread the ball out and run, when they use their passing game off of their running game, that's when they're at their best. And when they're able to, suck defenses in before hitting them over the top with deep passes, that's when they're going to be good. Josh Crumpack's or Jordan Perry's long touchdown catch and, a couple of Crumpack catches were the highlight of what I'm saying there. And then they're still able to punish you on the ground. When you have a punishing runner like Drew Zajac who can kind of knock you over alongside a little scat back like Casey Miller, that's when they're at their best, and they showed that on Friday.
To be able to knock out a team like JFK, who was on a 6-game winning streak, arguably the hottest team in the entire valley, what 100%. Does that do for the confidence in McDonald?
It gives you a lot of confidence. I mean, that JFK team is no joke. I mean, if their quarterback Provit, if you've seen him play, like, he's a player. I mean, if you saw some of the highlights from that game on Friday, he was dancing all over the place. There was one play, I think it was like a 4-yard touchdown run where he went to the right, realized he didn't have a lane, turned around and ran to the other side of the end zone. I mean, that JFK team is for real, and they found the rhythm late in the year. And it's a huge win for McDonald. I mean, going into the next round of the playoffs, I think they get number 4 Monroeville. Yeah. That's a huge win for the Blue Devils. Builds up a lot of confidence kind of going into the next round. If they can stick to the process of what makes them successful, I think they can make a very deep run this year.
I love it. I'm in love with it. I like the matchups this week. I love what McDonald has been able to do. I'm so appreciative that JFK made the run, made the playoffs, because I think there's always going to be that little bit of not like fear, but like intrigue of how, like, when you're playing these parochial schools, they're playing different schedules than you are. How are you going to stack up? And I think there was excitement, but I think there was a little bit of eyebrow raising of, okay, what are we up against in McDonald? And to be able to win that game, a big win. I know they had like a watch party on Saturday or Sunday. As a team, as a community, it was really cool to see. And I don't think there was a loser in that game. I think that Coach Bente sees that as an opportunity to build on next year's team as well. But obviously 100%. The beat goes on in McDonald. Greg, I cannot thank you enough. I know this is your you won't be here next week for Overreaction Monday. So I don't know what the hell we're going to do or who we're going to fill this with next week, but we're going to have to bring on somebody who can bring it the way that you do, man. And thank you for everything you did this week. Your pictures were out of this world, again, lighting it up. And you can find those on our Smug Mug. Hey, support local artists, right? Like Greg McAfee.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, man. Have a good day. Hey, teach those children good things.
I'll do what I can.
We appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Greg McAfee. Unbelievable. can take this down now. But it's a situation where, boy, a tough week. I think for everybody, right? And I'm not saying like tough week and like bad week, but like these are the moments you and I really don't like. Like we like it because we're getting closer to crowning a champion, but it's also like you're kissing farewell to friends and programs that you've really had besides you for the last 3 months. And it's tough. It's a tough pill to swallow, not just this year, but every year that we've been doing this.
That's why, as much as we like all YSN matchups, it's also kind of bittersweet because you don't know how to feel. You feel awesome for the one team that won, but at the same time, you're like, can I cheer because we lost a team that we've been covering all year too? So these all YSN matchups, we have a couple of them in the regional semis, and we're gonna be guaranteed one in the regional finals no matter what in Division 5. They're kind of bittersweet. I think people think that we love YSN matchups all the way, and we do. It's awesome. It's awesome to see teams go up against each other and know that we're guaranteed someone in the next round. But at the same time, it kind of drives a stake in your heart while you're celebrating, because it's like, yeah, we won, but also we lost too, and we have to feel those emotions as well.
Which leads us into the next topic, which is, okay, you and I are doing, and you, Ackelson, and myself, I should say, are doing that, and Andy Hake doing that YakCast on Friday night, which, I mean, overwhelmingly successful, which I'm very, very fortunate. We're all very fortunate and blessed to do what we do. We say that all the time. I think there were a lot of people maybe watching YSN for the first time, perhaps, and maybe the expectations were a little bit like, hey, we're going to be watching Jim Nance and Tony Romo, and there's going to be 17 cameras at every facility, and it's just not who we are. It's never been who we've been. We just started doing video in 2020, and I'm not saying that's to be like, hey, we just started. I'm just pointing it out. These press boxes are not built the way that professional stadiums are built. Like, these stadiums are not Acrisure Stadium. They're not, whatever the hell Cleveland Brown Stadium is now. They're not Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. Press boxes are very tight, and especially this time of year, there's sometimes that we don't even have access. Like in Mogador, they didn't have enough. They didn't have any space for us, and so we were either going to be outside or we weren't going to do it. And because the weather was the way that it was, we just decided, hey, probably better off to save the equipment because there's no coverage, there's no anything. And then, we still have people sending us messages about the Mogador game, and we didn't even have it. That was the crazy thing. Like, I couldn't – I'm sitting there trying to decipher through some interesting English, by the way, our Mogador East Palestine coverage, and we didn't have the game. So they wanted a refund for the Mogador game. And then on top of that, there was a game that we had. Which game was it? The Garfield game that we didn't have?
It was, but it wasn't us. Like we linked it up, but it wasn't necessarily our feed. And I think the box cast for Garfield was having some trouble in the first half. It came up eventually because Mike Schweinhart and me were able to watch it, but we were getting attacked for it. Which is fair because it was on our list, so it's fair. It was on the live games page.
Fair play. And it is what it is. And there's people that spent $10 to see it.
Right.
We get it. I understand it. We've since taken care of those customers. There's a strict no refunds policy on our page unless we
especially
absolutely
after halftime.
Yeah, if we sink, like if we were the Titanic and we absolutely just sink to the bottom, we'll take care of that. But here's why, and people are hammering us about the camera angles and the announcers, and it just like if we usually don't get much in the way of heat if the team wins. If the team loses, it is we're going to try to get our $10 back by any costs, by saying anything that we can. Yep. Someone claiming that they paid $10 to watch the YakCast was interesting to me. being that it was on YouTube, Facebook, like I said, Twitch, I mean, LinkedIn.
No.
Here's the thing: is our hands are tied, and a lot of times we can get into it, and we have, especially on Facebook, into a little bit of a back and forth. But from an email perspective, usually not. Usually it's not, like, you're not going to get much of a reaction from us because there's a lot of nasty things that people say in an email, and I get it. Like, you're frustrated or whatever, and then you send it, you take it out on the announcers, which, listen, I watched the Steelers game last night. Chris Collinsworth probably gets 50 emails about, more than that.
He gets
about how, yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, like, don't kill the messenger, you know, because your other option is what, Ant? What's your other option? If you're not watching on YSN, what's your other option?
You're not watching it.
You can go to the game.
You can go to the game.
We want you to go to the game. We want you to go.
Is your seat in the stands a better camera angle than ours? Probably not. Let's just be real. You're not going to see more from the stands than you would on our camera. It's not like you have a 12 camera setup in your mind when you're watching the game.
And the bands, we do the best we can. We absolutely do the best we can because, as we mentioned during the YakCast, if it's closed, if it's, you know, glassed or whatever, you know, partition is between us and the field, we have to protect ourselves. And what that means is, we learned in 2020, we cannot leave hot mics open with our announcers not on them and shooting the band, because there is language that happens in the stands. There's language that happens in not just our booth from our announcers, but other people have language that they feel like they can say things. Hey, with all due respect, that's their booth, right? But we're the ones that have to protect if we don't protect us, nobody will.
Right.
So that's why, and people are like, well, I paid for this to watch the band. I'm sorry, we never advertised the band. Like, so there, you know, from the standpoint of, this is a football game that we advertise the game for, we can't be held accountable that you paid $10 to see the band, with all due respect. You know what I mean? We feature the band as much as we possibly can during the year. And certainly if there's an ability to feature the band or cheerleaders or whatever it may be, you know, extracurriculars during the game, that's what we try to do. We are not selling the $9.99 to say we're featuring. And if we did, you're more than entitled to a refund or your money back. But we cannot promise anything, because now, especially at this point, we're not familiar with some of these setups in some of these different places. A lot of times during the season, home games, we know exactly where we are. We know if we'll have the band or not. We can promote that. We just don't have it from the standpoint, you know, some of these different venues.
I mean, let's be real. We can't even promise a great Wi-Fi connection that will give you a clear camera or a clear, you know, video feed. We want to, we love to, and in a lot of places we do. But like, we have no. If our hotspot doesn't have a great internet connection, we can't just magically snap our fingers and get better Wi-Fi set up. Like, this is not going to happen.
And the other thing is from our standpoint, we are trying everything we can to make the experience easier. This is not an excuse. We are trying. The Purple Pass is the one that we found has been the easiest to the end consumer. You know, it actually costs us more, because what people don't understand is, hey, open up the curtains here. When you have a transaction that's a third party, like Purple Pass, they take a cut of that in order to you know, put that paywall up and to essentially make sure that when you pay, it checks out. There's an ability for us to do it a different way that we've done before. It's going to be a lot worse of an experience, and it's a 50-50 kind of, hey, is your money going, or is your, you know, there's a data factor here. And when you put your credit card into one of these different places, we want to make sure that it's safe. We want to make sure that it's secured, that it's encrypted, all that stuff. And Purple Pass comes with insurance, which makes it a little bit higher to us. So we're not that $9.99. We're not even getting the $9.99 out of that. We're getting a fraction of that $9.99 because we're paying not only the Purple Pass, but we're paying for the insurance to make sure that you're encrypted and taken care of. So that way they're covered. It's on them, but we're paying so that way. Right. So people are like, hey, I'm paying $10 for that. Well, I understand that, but really you're paying about $5. I mean, you're paying $10, but we're getting $5 out of that to go towards our goal of raising money to make sure that the OHSA isn't just scraping our eyes every single week,
Right.
as they often do. I mean, hey, it's their birthday party, as Andy says, right? So, it's one of those things, and we're doing everything in our power to combat that. So for the people who want to see it change and they hate the Purple Pass, I get it. We're working on something potentially that is based on subscriptions, and that you can watch it on your TV and you can you don't even have to download games anymore. You can watch them on demand. We're working on that. These are things that we are working on, but we can't just snap our fingers and they take place over the course of 1 week or even 10 weeks. This is something, because we have over 15,000 games in our archives. It's going to take a minute.
Whew.
I mean, it's maybe nobody cares, but to be able to watch back games that happened in 2017 or 2018 or 2019, or we have to find the right partner. Now, I'm giving away, kind of showing our cards a little bit. We are moving towards OTT. It is just a little bit more of a challenge than we thought it would be, because there's still a dollar amount that is associated with OTT that now we'll have to pay the OTT and the OHSAA to be able to do that. And how much money can we give away without going belly up? You know what I mean? Without having it make business sense. So this has been the math portion of YSN and the business portion of YSN. And, if you're mad at us, sorry about it. I don't know what else to say other than we apologize for the inconvenience. But coming at us on social media or coming at us on, an email or whatever, probably not going to end well. Because we have these things, these microphones, and we will,
and we'll use them.
yeah. I don't want to weaponize these things, but hey, when you call, if they're funny, like I might send one back. Like there's a couple we got that were actually pretty funny, and I appreciated them. Even though they kind of kicked us in the boys, but it was still like, okay, like I get your sense of humor. I appreciate it. Thank you. But at the end of the day, it was like, some of these people were like, I hope you don't have children that you want to watch play. And I'm like, what? Like, I don't know. That one was a tough one to kind of comprehend and to appreciate. I mean, there's grandparents that were like, this is the only way I'm going to see my grandchild. Like, we appreciate that. We appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Where were you in week 1 when it was free?
Right.
Like where were you in week 10 when it was free? Just whenever there's dollars associated is when you yell at us, and again, we understand that anytime you put a dollar to anything, if you put a penny to anything, there's an expectation. NFHS, you can go get most of these games for $12 a month. Mm-hmm. So that's your option. And if NFHS isn't there, or their stuff fails, as it usually does, with all due respect,
mm-hmm.
they don't give a damn. Mm-hmm. I know that because they don't care about us. I mean, they try to make sure we're not there. And then most of these schools that got these free cameras won't even turn the cameras on because they suck. They're absolutely terrible. And then we're getting hey, I was kind of excited. Couple of emails, Ant. People were mad that there wasn't audio for portions of the game. They want our audio, and then they get our audio, and then they complain about the audio. Welcome to the conundrum known as YSN. But there was one particular thing this weekend that happened that really kind of set you off. I know.
Yeah,
Go
I'm.
ahead, I'll give you the floor.
No, I'm pretty, laid back, and I am very anti-confrontational. Not a lot really gets me fired up as far as comments or stuff, but the things that do are, well, like when you say that YSN is doing something that I actively try to make sure we don't do, like just that kind of misinformation, that is the one that, like, okay, come on, like stop. And it was a particular photography outlet that actually it wasn't even them, it was someone associated with them, so it was like one of their buddies that kind of put this on their wall, I guess you could say, for Facebook. But the idea that we only promote one or two photographers or photography outlets is ludicrous. So if you see anyone out there saying that we're only pushing one entity, is crazy. And I actually went through and found out every photo outlet that we used this weekend, because I felt a little bit petty. I was like, I want to see just how many photo credits we've used this year, just to
Do you have it readily available?
I don't have the number, but I have all the ones that we've used. I guess we can count them as we go. But
Shout them out, dude. They deserve to be
so
shouted out.
here we go. I'm gonna get my phone out. It's on my notes app. So
You don't
here
have
are
to
the,
shout out the notes app, dude.
I know, but here are the photographers that we have used this year, and we'll start with our own Gary Leininger, who is the only one that we have on staff that we can actually say, hey, we want you to go here.
He's our chief photographer, for crying out loud.
So he's number one. Obviously, Mahoning Valley Sports, we've used them. We've used Phoenix Photography. We have used Colin Chadwick. We have used Rick Everhart from Louisville, Colin Chadwick from Lakeview. We have used scrolling. We have used Edgewood Athletics. We have used Jocelyn Nicholas, Life Speaks Photography. We have used Nikki Hufford Photography. We have used the Lewises, Chris Lewis and Anne-Marie Lewis from Austin Town Fitch, and their athletics department put out great pictures. We have used AAC Sports. I don't know who takes pictures for them, but they post great pictures on their X account that they've allowed us to use for years. So AAC Sports is one of our photo credits as well. We have used Shots by Alana from Instagram. She is a Hubbard student that takes pictures of their athletics. We have used Captured by James, which is a Liberty, I believe, student that takes pictures of them. So he has been our source for Liberty football. Deep breath. We have used Joel Hively from Crestview, who takes great pictures of not just their volleyball team, but their football team as well. Greg McAfee also takes great pictures. We've used his pictures in the past. We have used myself. We have used Edgewood Athletics. We have used Don Bubonic from Perry. He has been our Perry advisor. We've used Ben Call, who is the yearbook photographer for Garfield, that lets us use pictures of G-Men Athletics. That's just for fall sports, by the way. We have used other ones that do
Magic
stuff for
Moments,
Magic
Tim Lauer.
And these are ones that you have used as well from your
LKM Photography. I mean, you're
looking through Lori's View from East Palestine.
Yes,
is one that I forgot to write down, but that is one as well. But then obviously there are other guys that do a lot of spring sports. There are parents that go for spring that do theirs, and winter for basketball. We have a bunch of photographers that we like to get out there. Leslie Lesnack from Springfield is one that does a lot of basketball and softball pictures for their teams in Springfield.
Springfield local page.
Yes, the Football Fanatics to give us great football coverage, and also come and take pictures of our show at the VFW. So the idea that we only celebrate one photography entity is absolutely ludicrous. And if I see that out there on Facebook, that is something that will fire me up for sure.
Well, and let's get to the heart of why we get fired up is because YSN has been a unifier since our inception. It is okay. If these don't, because we have a platform. The idea is, okay, we have a platform that we can promote student athletes, coaches, communities, school districts, all that stuff. So when we utilize some of these partnerships and we leverage ourselves in these partnerships, a lot of times there is an exchange of, hey, this is your business. You give us a photo or access to your photos. We will publicize it so that way people can appreciate your photos, as opposed to they just go to your Facebook page or they just go to your website. They can see it on ours. We give you the credit and then push them to either our Smug Mug where they can buy it, or your pages where they can purchase it as well. Or, hey, a lot of these, Ant, you and I both know, is we don't even want people to purchase it. We just want people to appreciate our art. And that is kind of the idea behind it. And then to see not only, and I'm going to sound like a baby here, to see the comments that were, by the way, I wake up to this. I'm not actively seeking like to get red-eyed about it, but to have these messages sent to me and they are personal attacks at me.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Very interesting, because I suck at taking pictures. Like I'm terrible at it. There's a lot of things I feel like I can do very well. Taking pictures, not one of them. Taking video, I'm in. Taking pictures, unless it's of my kids or my wife, I'm out. I stink at it. But it's one of those things, like, I understand because it's YSN. I'm going to get the finger pointed at me. I'm not mad about it, but at least have your ducks in a row. And by the way, YOKLEY. And if you're going to bitch about me or complain about me, at least do it in modern English and spell check it, because it's just a bad look. Like, any credibility that you have is gone. And this particular human being hasn't, she just comes after us, me, the company, for no reason. Like, there's, you need to use, correct me if I'm wrong, we need to use this more. And then now it's turned into a relationship with Mahoning Valley Sports, which we've had a relationship since COVID, by the way. That we have something like, they don't want us there. They don't. I can't speak for Mahoning Valley Sports, but I believe they're a paid entity,
right?
That many different outfits, districts, booster clubs dive into and say, "Hey, we love your photos. We want that."
And I think that's the root of this whole mess. I think they're kind of jealous they can't be the ones that are being paid to go and take pictures of schools. And Mahoning Valley Sports is, and that kind of seeds some envious feelings, and that comes out in very, very nasty sentiments, unfortunately.
Hey, you know what I have to say to that?
Work harder, take better pictures. That's all.
Get better.
Get better.
Get better. Capitalism, right?
Capitalism.
Like, when people think we suck,
no one's stealing your business. They're better at you than it. That's just the reality.
And yelling at me or us or we it does not solve your problem. In fact, it gives you more, because from this point forward, that particular establishment, that particular I can't call them an establishment. I'm doubting that they even have
outlet, maybe an outlet. Source.
Yeah, that particular outlet is no longer going to be on YSN. Like, we work as a unifier. Again, that's how this thing started.
And the sad thing is, we had used it. Like, they make you believe that we don't, but we have. And now you've talked your way out of it. That's all you've done.
And now it's a real problem, right? Because this is a situation where we appreciate and we want to make sure that we're using everybody we possibly can and showcasing art and talent and whatever this valley has to offer. But when you put our feet to the fire, we have to make a choice. And this isn't the first. That's the thing that bothers me. This isn't the first time this has happened. This is like 10 times that we've sit there and we go, okay, let's look the other way. And I've even instructed you before, hey, we're not going to use them anymore, because and you, being the great human being that you are and the forgiving human being that you are, go, let's give him another shot. It's done. It's over.
We're done. Yep.
And it's when you make it personal, it's done. And then
once I saw that, like, I share your set. Once I saw your name on it, I was like, well, you know what? We're not going to use them anymore. Nope. No. I'll use a graphic on a story before I use that. So
Yeah.
You attack us personally, then that's kind of one of the ways to get the cord cut a little bit.
And people will be able to figure out pretty quick, I think.
Yeah,
And
think so.
because there's so many text messages sent to me, so many people saw it, but for some reason I can't see it.
Yeah, I think we're might
It's
be
weird.
the good old blocked on the Facebook.
Man, there's nothing like flexing on people that can't even see what you're writing. But I digress. And I hope that someone passes this along to them at some point and they see, and we'd love to work with them someday, but there's going to have to be a interesting reversal of theology on this.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you put it out there, as we've seen on the internet, it doesn't always go away when you click delete. So thanks and good day, sir.
Good day, sir. You lose. You get nothing. Good day, sir.
Good. I said good day, sir. We can sit there and say that's our Joe Dickey Electric. What's your spark? Unless you got something extra.
No, I don't. And that was going to be my spark anyway if it didn't come up before the spark.
Basically, the kids nowadays, they do the 6-7. But my generation, we say, there it is. So enjoy, because you just cooked your own goose. Right
On
there.
a happy note, I love student photography. If you're a student out there that's taking pictures of your classmates, like I shouted out a couple of them that we have used for football, and you share them on Instagram, like get a hold of us. We'd love to use your pictures because I that's one of my favorite. When I see students out there taking pictures of the sports and we're able to use those, that's some of my favorite things to do.
Coolest thing about what we do with this is, and I think it gets lost in the shuffle a little bit, is we don't make any money off these pictures. We make money off of the Smug Mug, to which we are able to supply Gary Leininger with camera, lens, whatever he wants. And we take care of the people. And Greg is in that same boat, but they work specifically for us. Magic Moments, they're the ones that are saying, hey, please share this for us. Like we want to work well in the sandbox because we all understand it's for one purpose. It's for the student athletes. It's for the parents. It's for all that stuff. It drives me wild when there's people. I understand business. It's business 101, but you're getting free advertising on a place that gets 15 million views a year. What else could you want other than, hey, you need to pay us for our pictures? Okay, that won't work. Because we both know how this goes. Hey, we need you to go to this game. Can't go to that game. I need to go to this game because they're paying. Oh, so you're double dipping.
Yep.
That's what this is. Got it. Well, if you're not going to work for us and you're not going to do what we ask you to do because we have gotcha. Adios. Rick Everhart?
Yes, Rick Everhart, which I had that. Rick Everhart takes amazing pictures for Louisville, and we've been able to use him since last spring, and we thank him for letting us use their pictures of Louisville. And
it's everybody one.
Yep.
That's what it is.
Yep.
And this particular one always seems to rise from the ashes when it's least appreciated.
Yep.
And I don't think they're going to be rising from the ashes anytime soon.
No.
I think we got the magic.
We've dusted the ashes into a garbage disposal and spread them across the land.
You're done.
You're done.
That will do it for our show. Thanks to our lovely friend. Can I say lovely? Is that like, I don't want to emasculate him? He's a lovely human being. I mean, Greg McAfee is an absolute legend. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you. I mean, he broke down chop, 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 chop. And by the way, StreamYard, get your stuff together. Why can we not have images and video? Because we like we like the highlights running as Greg's talking.
Oh, yeah.
Pick one or the other, apparently.
But hey, we have Mars now, so I forget the
How about we fix
multi-aspect
Earth
ratio
first
streaming.
before we get to Mars? That's my question.
Multi-aspect
StreamYard.
ratio streaming. So At least we had that.
Yeah, thanks a lot, StreamYard. Sellouts, sacks of subs.
What's funny is we're saying that while at the bottom of the post on Facebook for this, you're going to see an advertisement for StreamYard.
Which, yeah, not to make it a complaint show, but like we have no jurisdiction over that. I have no idea how to get rid of that, and I can't. Like, that is communism, not capitalism. They put that into our Facebook stuff and YouTube. Like, we pay for this. You shouldn't be able to do that. Commies? Goodness gracious. What are we talking about here? Switcher does. Rob, get off the Switcher bandwagon. Had our backs.
Now, Rob, not everyone has a giant switcher at their disposal, unfortunately.
Well, no. It's a thing on his iPad. It's a pro.
Oh, okay.
We have to do it in a web-based browser. I think I said that right. And StreamYard has been serving us well for the last, man, it was before COVID because we thought we were cool.
Yeah.
And then Zoom happened and everybody jumped on Zoom, but we were doing interviews on this in 2019, I believe.
I think this is better, at least better than Zoom for our purposes. But
I think people are zoomed out. They got Zoom. What is it called?
What's funny is Zoom kind of snuck right around Skype, which should have capitalized from COVID, and it just like killed Skype completely. Skype is dead. It's funny how that happens. If you're not watching behind your back, you can have a company come in and do the exact same thing you do, but market it a little bit better. And
can we have a moment of silence for Skype?
Yes. I don't remember the
Skype.
noise.
You were good. You were solid.
Good, buddy.
You meant a lot to the beginnings of video calling. We're gonna miss you. You killed it, and then Zoom came on and killed you. Respect. We'll miss you, Skype. Moment of silence has passed. ICQ. You remember ICQ? That was a long time ago. AI. We talked about AIM before. ICQ. Not a much more. There weren't many more annoying things than ICQ back in the day. Because parents just still did. Parents. They're a little bit over technology nowadays because we're part of that generation. But they didn't know how to like turn the volume up and down or how loud it was going to be. And imagine every message was It was bad. MySpace. Is it still around?
Yes,
like,
yes.
It's still
MySpace
there.
is still there, but it's not the same thing anymore. But MySpace is still a website you can go to. It was such a. If you weren't on the top friends, you were dissed.
Oh yeah, and boy, whenever parents got to get on MySpace, it's the same thing as when parents actually got to get on Facebook because
That's
Facebook
why people went to
originally
Facebook, and then parents got on Facebook, and then people went to Twitter.
like it was dangerous because like Facebook was cool because it was only college kids for a while, and then when they opened it up because they realized, hey, again, capitalism, they realized they can make money off this. Zuckerberg opens it up, and all of a sudden, parents are on it. Oh, change the game. Change the game. You couldn't just say anything anymore. Just couldn't do it. But hey, technology, undefeated, just like the internet. Boy, I'm glad to be on the internet.
Thank God.
This show sucks. On
SEC would have canceled us years ago.
We never would have got on. They would have said these two Jacomos, no chance. But we're appreciative that you spend, for some reason, you spend time with us. The 58 people watching currently.
Wow.
And the millions, literally, not even joking, that watched on Friday. Hey, we're going to do it again on Friday.
Let's
We're
go.
going to do it again. Week 13 Yakcast coming up. Sponsors, welcome. Come on. You want to be seen. That's how you're seen. We will be covering, I believe, 5 games because Spectrum has taken the Austin Town Fitch game from us. Spectrum has taken the Archbishop Hoban game from us. So therefore, we will have everything that is D3 and below I believe Sam and
those
DK
two
going
teams
back
win, it'd be Fitch versus Hoban in week 14.
and we'll probably won't have that game.
Probably won't have that either.
Sorry about it. I mean, we can't control the side deals that the OHSA does is ridiculous to me. But that's another show. Everybody hates the OHSAA, and I appreciate it. Everybody that doesn't work there. We are going to have a show tomorrow, and we will certainly have work to be better because this one, the last 20 minutes or so, 30 minutes have been
ever since Greg left.
pretty much when Greg leaves, our show sucks. Like, that's just how it is. And a little extra heat in the kitchen. I'm hoping he means the OHSA is the devil and not Greg.
Not Greg McAfee. He's
Greg McAfee's not the devil. The OHSA, well, we'll find out. Anyway, tomorrow we will have a very special show because it is Veterans Day, and we love our veterans here at YSN, and looking forward to shining a light on those that have served, that are serving, and a great day here in America to honor those that that really make things possible for schmoes like us to do this every day. So join us. Join us. He says, yes, the OHSAA. Join us for our Veterans Day broadcast tomorrow. We're not sure how special it's going to be, but we will honor our veterans by at least speaking about them and hopefully getting a list of all the veterans that have come through YSN and maybe some of the veterans or those active duty that are serving right now that have YSN ties to them or community ties to them. So God bless you. We will be back tomorrow and we will be better. We promise it, most likely. For Anthony Ronald Hartwig, my name is DJ Yoakley. This has been YSN Live. Thanks again to Greg McAfee, and thank you for watching this absolutely horrendous show on the network. We'll see you tomorrow at noon right here on your sports network. And may the sports be with you, pal.
And you, my friend.
YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of your sports network. For stories, stats, and more, go to ysnlive.com.